I think it's recording now. If not, we'll find out when we do the retake. Well, this is take number 2 anyways. I'm Mr. PJ and I'm at the Savannah's Park today. Basically, you get these little blue envelopes when you come in the front gate. We ask that you put some money in it or something there. Okay, then you rip this part off, seal up the envelope, close it up, and then you put this on your mirror of your car so they can see it, and it tells you that there's the options. So retain stub in your possession. So if you don't have it, if you don't know what to do, so I kept the stub. I think what it really is, it's a number counter. They don't really care if you pay them as much. Of course, you know, it's an honesty thing, and I think that you should pay them. It's a beautiful park. Now, with all that said and done, where we're at is we're in St. Lucie County. Just a little, it's the heart of the Treasure Coast. It really is. And we're in right between, right now, Port St. Lucie's on the other side. There's really no port to Port St. Lucie. For those of you that are from the north and don't know that not every city that has the word port in it has a port. Fort Pierce has a port. And so anyways, we're in this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful wetland preserve. And now what's cool about this is here all the water, or I don't know which way the water flows, but I know that this connects down there to the Savannahs, which is a county park. Now this is the state park of the Savannahs. That was a state certificate that you have to come in. If you buy a gator permit, or you buy a fishing license, or you do salt water, you do any of that kind of stuff, all of that money goes to help preserve places like this. Now, one of the things that I'm looking to do, if for those of you that are looking to sponsor all the stuff that Mr. PJ does, because I'm just a whack job, I want to get some baby gators from the state and have them tag them specially, like with not bright color tags, but some kind of tags that we can kind of follow, or cut their tails a certain way so that we can see these, and then be able to see where they're going and take pictures of them. For instance, on the other side of this pond here, which is pretty much all enclosed, and you really can't, there's really no way to mess with the gators, and so that's a good thing. And plus I have my dog, so I stay to the public areas as much as possible. But I just wanted to share that with you because technically now we could have come up here, and while I was filming the first time, there could have been a gator sitting right here. It could have been laying out right here. And because of the fact of how big this park is, you really don't know how big that gator might be. It could be, well, I don't think it'll be the length. If he's as big as this whole thing, he's not going to be laying here. He's going to be laying over there someplace. He never sees humans. But if he can be 4 foot, which is, you know, well, that's 6 foot. Okay, so 3. Okay, so from over there to right about here, that's a 4 foot gator. What does that look like on head size? Well, from the tip of the gator to the tip of the nose to the tip of the gator tail, that's how we measure them. But from the eyes to the snout, the longer the distance is, the bigger the gator is. So what you have to look at is, especially when you look at my pictures, you have to look at the size of the snout to determine the length of the gator. That's an inside secret for the Mr. PJ's pirate crew. Okay. You're going to notice that today I have the Calvary Chapel logo today on. Well, on Sundays, I either go to a Calvary Chapel or I watch my home church, Calvary Chapel, Fort Lauderdale, online. And with the new Pirates Loft down in Fort Pierce, where we're going to be doing some community training, teaching some folks in the local area on how to use some advertising and media products so that they can grow and enhance their businesses, and we're going to basically renovate a town technologically. Big goal, looking for an 8-year project, and so with all that happening, in the process of that, I had to find some kind of steady income for me. So Cotton Company has hired me on to do white label things for them, and I can't tell you what I do because then I would be violating my contract. But they pay me for 25 hours of work a week, and it's enough for me to bring my wife here. And so that's really why we do that, so that we can meet the legalization of all the little things at the immigration office that say why a girl can't come here to be married to a guy. Well, we're going to figure that out. But we've gone through 98% of the, well, not 90. We went through a lot of the premarital. We have child rearing to go. That's where we're at, and we've definitely taken the long way. The hardest part so far has been the budget, which is the thing that I'm doing, and I'm doing it subconsciously, and the Lord's showing me how to do it, and He's teaching me how to do this while opening a venue for a church. And I'm going to do it, and it's not a matter of when, it's a matter of I'm doing it. And so for those of you that don't know, I'm a Florida registered pirate, and that's a political party because I'm so in opposition to both the Democrat Party and the Republican Party. I think there should be a party in the middle that follows the Constitution and says, hey, if you're not following the Constitution, I don't care what you are, Republican or Democrat, we're going to fire you. I think the IRS needs to be overhauled, and I believe in a free internet. And I don't mean that, I mean that go steal things that you've produced. No, those of us that produce content, like myself, I freely share. You can take this, you can burn this, you can give it away, you can link it, I don't care. You want it on your site, fine. But I'm going to tell you, sooner or later, you're going to have to pay me per click. Don't know when, but you will. And which brings me to the idea of sponsors. Okay, so first thing that you have to understand is I'm a pirate. Okay, so the first thing that a pirate does, what's he do? He goes and he possesses. Now, why am I teaching you pirate school with a Calvary Chapel logo on? I know Pastor Bob's going to say, now this guy is off his rocker. But then, of course, I look at Cy Rogers and think, wow, you know, because Cy and I have something in common. He was the kind of guy that I was afraid of as a Christian. And I'd go and I would be the guy saying, it just ain't right, man. It ain't. That was me. And it's taken me a long time not to be like that. But I also realize in the process of doing that, we've created a culture of acceptance to somewhat degree. And I don't know where that draws the line. It's not my place. But I can tell you right now, if you say that you're a Christian, and whether you're gay or you're not, I don't really care. We know the Bible says we're all sinners. And I can go, it doesn't matter. In God's eyes, it doesn't matter if I'm living with my wife, or living with my girlfriend, or I'm sleeping with or living with my boyfriend and I'm a boy. To him, it's the same sin. It's evil and bad, okay? And it has no bearing on the issue of sex before marriage. Now, so I had some great points about the numbers, and that's when I'm going to get some of these resources because some of the numbers of sexually transmitted diseases, that was crazy. Wow. And I'm like, you know, I take pictures of girls, and I like to take pictures, and I like to see beautiful women, and I take pictures, but all my pictures, the girls are always clothed, and I try not to reveal anything that I would be ashamed of my 13-year-old niece to see, be part of. And so that's the way I believe, you know, as far as I'm concerned, that's the way it should be. And if you want to do adult stuff, and I don't care, I'm not into it. I'm not into child stuff, and I'm not into adult stuff. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I guess I'm a middle-aged man right now who's marrying a girl half his age. Yikes. But if you know my lifestyle, and if you've had the encounter of chance of meeting me as I'm bobbing in and out of the Treasure Coast, you understand fully of how this is really how I live. Now, if I'm not living like this, that means somebody's put me into a cage. And as I'm put into a cage, I begin to die, which brings me to another truth. I am dying. And so for me, just to wake up in the morning and realize that I have another day is a good thing. There are days that I don't say anything to anybody about what I'm going through. But I can tell you right now, my life expectancy is on borrowed time already. But I know this. I know the lender of time. I know the guy who signs the check to the timekeeper and says, hey man, make sure you keep him going. I'm not worried about these things. All I'm worried about is listening. God, what do you want me to do today? Well, I want you to put on your shirt, and I want you to go over here to the internet at your parents' house, and I want you to go inside there, and I want you to watch Calvary Chapel today, and it's going to be a subject you're not really wanting to talk about or think it's, or you're not going to want to watch. I'm like, okay, God, that's what I'm going to do. I get up and I do that. And it's Sy Rogers, and I just like, oh my gosh. And so I'm doing that, and I'm just like, okay, all right. So I get to a place where he's really making sense. And I'm really liking it. Internet goes dead. Not ours, yours. And so Calvary Chapel just went off track, so I had to refresh a couple times. And that's fine. And I was using Windows. I wasn't even using Linux yet. When you start using my Linux system, then we'll get all kinds of crazy bugs. But with all that said and done, it was a great message. And again, every time that I see Sy, I see him on occasion. But when I see him, I see the growth from the last time I seen him. And that, to me, is an encouragement. Because he'll never ever be the I am your father kind of guy. But he's going to be the best dad he can possibly be before Jesus calls him home. And that's really what it's all about. Whatever it is that God told you to do, be the best at it. Me? I'm a pirate. That's cool. This could have shut off, this could have not shut off. I don't know. I don't care. We're going to go find Sparky. But what I want to say in closing with all this little message, I don't know exactly what's going on, but I can tell you this. There's no job that I find greater than serving the Lord. My entire life, since becoming a Christian, I've been an American missionary. Sometimes I work a 40-hour-a-week job for Christian organizations who pay me handsomely for what I do. Sometimes they leave with the wonder, well, what did he do? He didn't do anything, and he took $29,500 of my money. No, that's not what I said when I came and saw you. I'm like, hey, whenever you want to stop paying me, you just stop paying me. I'm going to continue working for you. I just don't know how yet. And so there are some of those guys, with the exception of Glenn Morris and Jeep 4x4 Center, because they we left on good terms and an equal thing. I didn't owe him anything. I owe Total Tickets some free advertising this year, and for next year, and for every year after this, for the 8-year project that I'm working on in the Treasure Coast, because the key component to it is Total Tickets. Because without free tickets, I don't have anything to give away for anybody to say, why should we listen to Mr. PJ? Well, but it's not just that. See, I do other stuff too. I'm the Treasure Coast community developer for Facebook. I come and visit your business, and I make sure that you're in not only Facebook correctly, which is simply putting a listing in Bing, but I make sure you're in Google correct. And that's what really matters, because when you do a search on your phone, I don't care who you are, you're going to see the big Google Daddy. And by the way, Google is a beast, but that's okay. I'm a permanent part of it. Well, I have no number in my hand, but I have number on my keyboard. The damn thing about free advertising is you never know what's going to come out of the guy's mouth up there talking. Now, if you ever hear me say that word, I'm pretty mad. I mean, I'm really mad. That's a word I try not to ever use. Ever. And I never, ever, ever want to use that word with the word God in front of it or God after it. And if you say that around me, it offends me. Much more than if you say Jesus Christ in vain, which is still bad. One is my father and one is my brother. You can talk about my brother however you want. The world has done it. They've crucified him. They killed him. But you can't talk about my father, because he's the only one that is true and pure and just and right. He is the one who makes all laws. Without him, there is nothing. So he's everything, and he's nothing. I don't know how that works. I don't care. But I know that for us to understand And for him to understand us and for us to understand him, he had to do something different. And so what he did is he's like, I don't know. I'm going to make these people and I'm going to do this down here. And I don't think he was expecting us to sin. I think God kind of put away God nature for a second and tried to be like human. And he tried to figure it out. So the first thing he does is he builds these people with free will. They can do whatever they want. Now, that's a complicated concept in itself. Because here's God who says, I'm giving you all of this. And then there's us who said, but I want all of this. And God says, no, you don't understand. That over there is not any good. It's dangerous. It's bad. It's not healthy. It's not that. It's your strawberry zinger in the middle of the night. Quit. It's not good for you. This is the land of milk and honey. The land that's pouring forth with blessing and everything else. And you're looking at it and you say, I got to cross a swamp. Here it's dry. And God says, I want you to go out. And then, if this was me right now and he told me to go over here, I'm like, you're nuts. I know there's big gators in here. But if he told me to go, I would go. Do you know why? Because I know the guy who writes my license for my life. I know the guy who writes the license for my life. I know the guy who keeps me alive. And his name is Jesus. And he's got a bottomless checkbook to pay the time off. So long as I keep doing what I'm supposed to be doing, which is being the best at what I'm doing. And what am I? I'm a pirate. Not just any kind of pirate, though. I'm a missionary pirate. And that's different than being a pirate because I'm not out here to maim, kill, rape, pillage, and all that kind of stuff. Although, I will tell you, politically speaking, I will pick your pockets as I'm going by. I do sell advertising. And I sell all funny ads. And I run a lot of political advertisements free of charge on my site. If I like your ad, I'll gladly run it free on my site. But it's got to be pirate in nature or revealing some pirate truth. Which brings me to the subject of pirates and why I chose pirates as the theme, as what's going on. We're gonna have a timeout because I'm not sure if we're recording, and this next part is the vision.